Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I am coming to you live from Braintree High School in Braintree, Massachusetts. Here to bring you live coverage, attempted live coverage, as the Wi-Fi connection has been really bad to start today. But here, attempting to bring you live coverage of today's high school varsity baseball contest between the hosting Braintree High Womps and the visiting Brookline High Warriors. Like I said, Wi-Fi connection's been really rough to start this one, and it doesn't show any signs of steadying itself. I'm hoping that, we get some kind of miracle and the live stream steadies itself out as we go. But if it doesn't, then I will be recording this simultaneously while streaming it, and I'll upload the recorded version later tonight. But in the meantime, Brookline coming into this game with a 9-3 record, still hoping to get that magic 10th win and secure a spot in the postseason. They were ranked 20th in the first MIAA power rankings in Division I. Going up against a very strong Braintree opponent, though. They come in with a 9-1 record. They were ranked 3rd in the MIAA Division I power rankings that came out last Friday. So on paper, a tough matchup for Brookline. And I don't think I've seen them beat Braintree in the few years I've been covering them. But we don't play these games on paper. We play them on the field. And so with that in mind, let's roll the intro. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan, and you are watching Brookline High Baseball.
Diving catch is made by Harrison Siegel. And Engelman lifts one high and deep to left. Levine going back. It's over the wall! Hits it! He wins it! Hugh Bollinger! Welcome to the Warriors! Brookline wins!
Oh, I actually forgot to mute my headset during that. Gosh, off to a bit of an off start here in this one. But regardless, the teams are getting ready to start here in the top of the first, starting basically on time. Starting on the mound for Braintree today is number 5, Connor Grieve. And he's going to face the leadoff hitter now for Brookline, the second baseman, number 5, Keenan Sawada. Sawada had a strong individual week last week, doubled up his run total from 4 to 8, doubled up his steal total from 2 to 4, boosted his batting average from something hovering around 230 or 240 to now almost up to 280. So he had a strong week last week. And we'll see how he does against this tough Braintree opponent. Like I said, the Womps ranked 3rd in the state power rankings that came out last Friday. First pitch is in the zone for strike one. Fouls that one off. Behind in the count fast at 0-2. And already the Braintree dugout showing some excitement at their starting pitcher getting ahead in the count. Hits a grounder, stabbed at by Grieve himself, flips it to first for out number one. Good response by Grieve on that one, and now batting for Brookline, the left fielder, number 21, Hugh Bollinger. Slightly different batting order for Brookline today. Bollinger batting second today as he takes strike one. He has been a pretty consistent hitter, batting .321 on the season so far, but usually batting towards the bottom end of the lineup. Today they move him up to second as he hits a grounder up the middle, and that's going to be stabbed at by the second baseman, but would have been a tough throw to make to first anyhow as Bollinger legs out the infield single. So a runner at first now with one out. Up comes the third baseman, number 9, Elias Brendel. Brendel's been a strong on-base guy consistently throughout the season for Brookline as he slices this one foul and out of play. But in terms of base hits, his numbers have taken a bit of a dip as of late. His batting average now down to .207, as you can see on the bottom of your screen. But still been a very productive part of Brookline's offense. Throw back to first to check on Bollinger, and he gets back safe. Still an 0-1 count to Brendel. And he rockets one deep out to center, but the center fielder is under it and makes the catch for out number 2. Good contact from Brendel, but needed that one to be left or right of center, as that was easily within the range of center fielder number 16, Hayden Regan. So now with 2 down, up comes the center fielder, number 14, Harrison Siegel. Siegel usually batting in the 2 spot this season, but being moved back to the cleanup spot as he takes ball 1 outside, as Brookline's normal cleanup hitter, Felix Hum, has hit a bit of a slump recently, so they're moving him a bit lower in the lineup to try and right himself as Siegel hits a hard grounder, and it gets away from the shortstop. A tough play to make, and that will probably be ruled a single. I would rule it a single. You know, I'll double check that later. But for now, 2 men on, and now up comes the catcher, number 17, Avery Melton. Melton with a chance to potentially bring in the first run here with a runner in scoring position. He is the team leader in RBI, but it's been a couple of games since he last got an RBI, as he takes strike 1 there. Did have a hard hit ball that brought in 2 runs in the win over Newton North last Wednesday, but that was ruled a reach on error, so he did not get the RBI that time. Takes strike 2 there. Grieve has not hesitated to throw strikes here in this first inning. 0-2 the count with 2 down, runners at first and second. Swing and a miss. Melton tried to reach to get the defensive swing there, but could not connect. And that will end the top of the first inning. As we move to the bottom of the first, Let's take a look at the starting lineups, which I didn't get a chance to narrate. For Brookline, as you saw, leading off, the second baseman, number 5, Keenan Sawada. Batting second, the left fielder, number 21, Hugh Bollinger. Batting third, the third baseman, number 9, Elias Brendel. Batting cleanup, the center fielder, number 14, Harrison Siegel. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 17, Avery Melton. Batting sixth, the shortstop, number 13, Felix Hom. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 23, Jonathan Mazzara. Batting eighth, the right fielder, number 11, Nico Hart. And batting ninth, the first baseman, number 7, James Dialchand Erickson. And not in the batting order, but starting on the mound for Brookline today is the man warming up right now, number 22, Charlie Engelman. You can see his season stats so far on your screen right now. He's had 4 appearances, all of them starts. He's got a 2-1 pitching record. 16.2 innings pitched through those first 4 appearances for an average just above 4 innings per outing. A team-leading ERA of 0.84, a team-leading whip of 1.20, and 13 strikeouts. And it'll be interesting to see how he handles going up against Braintree. He has pitched against Braintree in Braintree each of the last 2 years, and both times it has not gone well. 2 years ago, he came in, issued three consecutive walks, threw some wild pitches, and ended up getting pulled after I think only getting 1 out. Last year, he started against the Womps, got off to a solid start, but then just had a blow-up inning that featured a number of walks, hit-by pitches, a bases-clearing double. I think at one point he had 3 hit-by pitches in a row. So he's had really some nightmarish outings out here in Braintree, but here in his senior year, hoping to tell a different story against the Womps. Starting lineup for Braintree. Leading off, the center fielder, number 16, Hayden Regan. Batting second, the shortstop, number 3, Peter Brooks. Batting third, the first baseman, number 20, Sean Canavan. Batting cleanup, the third baseman, number 6, Sean O'Rourke. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, number 20-something, Cal Uhas. Batting sixth, the left fielder, number 2, Sam Garrity. As this first pitch might have gotten a piece of it, strike 1. Batting seventh, the right fielder, number 24, Max King. Batting eighth, the second baseman, number 15, Nick Rucky. Batting ninth, the catcher, number 14, Joe Bossy. And not in the batting order, but starting on the mound for Braintree, we saw him last half inning, number 5, Connor Grieve. That pitch curves into the zone, strike 2. At the plate for Braintree, the center fielder, number 16, Hayden Regan. As some sun starts to peek through the clouds out here in Braintree. And he connects, lifts it into shallow right. Hart charging in, and he's got it. Seemed like that fly ball caught a bit of a headwind that might have potentially worked against Brookline, but Hart tracked it well for a routine flyout. Now batting, the shortstop, number 3, Peter Brooks. First pitch hits the zone, strike 1. And he laces this one out to left, chased down by Bollinger out near the wall for out number 2. Peter Brooks gave that one a ride, but it just hung in the air a little too long. Good range from the freshman, Hugh Bollinger, out in left for out number 2. Now batting the first baseman, number 20, Sean Canavan. This one skips in the dirt, ball 1. That one hits the zone, strike 1. I think that first pitch ball to Canavan was actually the first ball Engelman has thrown so far this inning. And this one is lined out to right, and that's going to be out of range for Bollinger. Out in right. He was listed as playing left, but he's playing right as Canavan is going to round second, head for third. And he beats the throw just barely, but it bounces off his shoulder as he came in standing up. A 2-out triple for Sean Canavan. Looks like he's shaking off the sting of that throw. So it looks like Canavan is okay. In the meantime, we correct our lineup. It's actually Hugh Bollinger out in right and Nico Hart out in left. And now batting for Braintree with a runner at third and 2 out. The third baseman, number 6, Sean O'Rourke. First pitch going to miss, ball 1. Engelman's got to shake off that last big hit from Canavan and keep throwing strikes. That one low for ball 2. This one's a grounder, going to stay in the infield, fielded cleanly by Sawada at second, and the 4-3 ground out will end the inning. So one deep shot from Canavan, and while both teams get a runner into scoring position in the first, neither score. At the end of 1, we are scoreless. I'm going to take a second here and stop the stream altogether, see if I can mess around with my Wi-Fi a bit, see if I can get it to work better. All right, so here we go with the top of the second inning. Leading off for Brookline is the shortstop, number 13, Felix Hom, as he takes strike 1 from Grieve. That one gonna miss for ball 1. As I mentioned before, Felix Hom in a bit of a hitting slump at this time. as he lifts one out shallow right. If that drops fair, it's foul. Wind might have carried that one just a bit to the right, but I think it was just sailing that way anyhow. Strike two. That one gonna miss outside, ball two. 2-2, the count to Hom here to start the top of the second. Swinging, and he got a piece of it, but fouled it right into the catcher's glove. Strike three. So Hom down on strikes. And now batting, the designated hitter, number 23, Jonathan Mazzara. And first pitch is lifted out to right, but well within the range of the right fielder for out number two. So two down quick here in the top of the second. Now batting the left fielder, number 11, Nico Hart. First pitch is low for ball one. Hart so far this season, 2 for 10 with a run scored and an RBI as he takes strike one there. That one hits the zone, strike two. And he gets a piece of it. It's a grounder over to third, thrown to first, little high. Oh, it did pull Canavan off the bag. Just barely. Canavan, with his massive size, seemed like he was going to be able to make that stretch, but they said his heel came off the bag, and so Nico Hart's going to reach on an E5. Now batting the first baseman, number 7, James Dialchund Erickson. First pitch, he fouls it off, strike one. Dialchund Erickson came back from injury for the first time last week. Appeared as a designated hitter last Wednesday against Newton North and as a first baseman on Friday against Boston Latin Academy as Hart dives back to the bag safely. No hits and no times getting on base yet for Dialchund Erickson. Simple 0 for 6 so far this season. Another throw back to first to check on Hart. Hart doesn't have any stolen bases yet this season as Dialchund Erickson goes around there for strike two. Just kind of fooled him on that one, but still some efficient pitching from both Grieve and Engelman so far as we've got another throw back to first, showing a lot of concern for Nico Hart at first. And now Hart takes off. It's a low ball. Throw down to second, and Hart slides around and gets in there to steal second. So even with all those throwbacks, Hart unwavering as he rushes down to second. And for the second inning in a row, Brookline has a runner in scoring position. Swing and a miss, and that will end it. So that ends the top of the second. And we are still scoreless. Seems like the connection is done marginally better, but not by much. Still a very bad connection. It'll be the 5, 6, 7 hitters due up for Braintree, Uhas, Garrity, and King. And now we'll get to see what jersey number Uhas is, because funnily enough, in the lineup from Braintree that I got to take a picture of, Cal Uhas's jersey number is literally listed as 2... So literally his jersey number is 20-something. Okay, it's 27. So leading off for Braintree is number 27, Cal Uhas. First pitch gonna miss, outside, ball 1. And that one is lifted out to left center, and on his horse to get it was Harrison Siegel. That young man has got incredible range in the outfield, and he has been displaying that all season long. And that one might have been one of the best exemplifiers of how much space he is able to cover out in the outfield there. That was a good piece of hitting by Cal Uhas. And most outfields, that's going for extra bases, but Siegel just robbed him there. Now batting, the left fielder, number 2, Sam Garrity. That one catches the outside corner for strike 2. You know, when you see one of your fielders make a nice play on the ball like that, as a pitcher, that's got to give you way more confidence to get back to throwing strikes. Swing and a miss, and it's 3 straight strikes from Engelman to get the second out. Now batting the right fielder, number 24, Max King. First pitch skips in the dirt, ball 1. Engelman might have lost his grip on that pitch as you saw him kind of fiddling with the ball. And that one catches him chasing low, strike one. 1-1 now the count. This one's a grounder towards the gap, but it's picked up by Hom. Long throw, gets there in time. Great coverage by Felix Hom at short. That one looks like it might have either gone through the gap or gone for an infield single, but Hom, cool as a cucumber, tracking that one and makes the long throw perfectly for the 6-3 ground out. Through two, no score out here in Braintree. Brookline will be sending the top of their lineup to the plate here in the third. Sawada, Bollinger, and Brendel. So now we start the top of the third the same way we started the top of the first. But the second baseman, number 5, Keenan Sawada, as he takes strike one. That one's low for ball one. Sawada grounded out back to the pitcher his last time up, as that one is going to miss for ball two. Makes contact here. It's a roller over to first, picked up by the first baseman, thrown to first, and covered well by Grieve for out number one. So Sawada had a 1-3 ground out his first time up, now has a 3-1 ground out his second time up. So one down, and those aren't boos, those are Hughes, as now up is the right fielder, number 21, Hugh Bollinger, as he takes high ball one. Bollinger got a single up the middle his last time up, got as far as second, but was left stranded. And this time, good contact out to right, but right at the right fielder, caught by King for out number two. It's two down, base empty, and now up is the third baseman, number 9, Elias Brendel. First pitch, and he skies it back out to center where he sent it last time. And again, Regan tracks it easily for out number 3. So we are just zipping through this game so far. Efficient pitching from both sides and some hitting from both sides that has not yet broken through. Has us moving swiftly to the bottom of the third inning with no score. This game's been going for about a half hour. We're already 2.5 innings in, and, well, I mean, not really so much a half hour. Maybe, because I set up the stream about maybe 5-10 minutes before the game got underway. But the point is, things have been moving pretty fast. It'll be the 8-9-1 hitters coming up for the Womps. Rucky, Bossy, and back to the top with Regan. So we are entering an interesting stage of the game in what has been a pretty dominant pitcher's duel thus far. But we're getting to the part where batters start facing the pitcher a second time. And that can always be really interesting. Of course, with how efficient these guys have been throwing, these batters haven't seen too many of their pitches in their first plate appearances. But we still got a couple more that need to see the starting pitcher for the first time, and one of them is this batter, the second baseman, number 15, Nick Rucky. And he fouls that one up the third base side, quickly behind 0-2. And he lifts this one out to right center, and it's caught by Siegel for out number 1. Again, such great range out there in center field from the senior co-captain Harrison Siegel. Now batting the catcher, number 14, Joe Bossy. Bossy, the last starting hitter on either side who has not had a plate appearance yet, as he takes the first pitch in the dirt for ball 1. Because again, both pitchers have just been working so efficiently through their respective batting orders. This one fouled off third base side, strike 1. This one fouled off, strike 2. One and 2 the count. Chase it low, strike 3, pitch does get away. Melton chases it down, throw to first in time for out number 2. So that will simply go down as a strikeout for Engelman. And now Engelman cycles back to the top of the order, now batting the center fielder, number 16, Hayden Regan. Ooh, first pitch hits him. A 2-out hit by pitch. And boy, you just hope that doesn't get in Engelman's head. Like I mentioned before, last year he had one really nightmarish inning against the Womps out here in Braintree, where he gave up 3 consecutive hit-by pitches as part of a huge rally by the Womps. Now batting, the shortstop, number 3, Peter Brooks. First pitch in the dirt, ball 1. This one tipped off, strike 1. Engelman not making any throws back to first, check on Regan. Kind of understandable with 2 down in the inning, but also kind of understandable when you got a first baseman who's playing just his second career varsity game at first. You know, you don't want to take any risks of things going wrong. Plus, Engelman's best pickoff move is at second base, so even if Regan steals second, could put himself in trouble. Takes off for second here. It's a low ball, 2. Throw down to second. Not in time. Regan gets down to second, standing up. Count now 2-1. So a runner in scoring position for the Womps. But again, got to look out for the potential pickoff move. This one fouled up the right side, or up the third base side. Strike 2. 2-2 the count. As Brooks kind of chased low on that one. His last time up, Brooks flew out to left. Pickoff not thrown. Engelman decided against throwing it. He caught Regan with a sizable lead, but Regan quick to get back. Chased it low, strike 3. It did bounce in the dirt, but with a runner on base, doesn't run, and that'll simply be an inning-ending strikeout. So we are through 3 with still no score in what has been a very fast-moving pitchers duel between Charlie Engelman and Connor Grieve so far today. Each team has gotten a runner in scoring position in 2 of the last 3 innings, with Brookline getting a runner to second in the first and second innings, and Braintree getting a runner to third in the first inning and getting a runner to second in the third inning. But no one has been brought in as of yet. For Brookline, they're going to have their 4, 5, 6 hitters, Siegel, Melton, and Hom, coming up against Grieve here in the top of the 4th. We've actually got a note in the live chat from one of our regular viewers, Barbara Jo Metzger. Go Brookline Warriors from Buffalo, New York. Thank you for tuning in, Barbara, and my apologies to you and anyone else who was hoping to see a smoother live stream today. The Wi-Fi has just not been cooperating. Top of the 4th, and leading off for Brookline, the center fielder, number 14, Harrison Siegel. Siegel got a 2-out single up the middle his last time up. Now hoping he can lead off an inning by getting on base. And he fouls off the first pitch, strike 1. Siegel, of course, had a big highlight-worthy play on Friday with a triple to right that drove in one of Brookline's 2 runs in what was ultimately a 9-inning loss to Boston Latin Academy, 3-2, as Siegel takes a high ball 1. But that hit was the first and thus far only triple for Brookline so far this season. That hit him! The running gag is back as Siegel is plunked for a team-leading 8th time this season. So the hit by pitch magnet gets to trot down to first. Now batting the catcher, number 17, Avery Melton. Melton shows bunt, pulls back, dangerous. But Siegel just barely dives back as Siegel was taking a jump off of first on that one for the potential sac bunt from Melton, but the pitch way high and Melton had to pull back. And because it was so high, it was a quick transition to the throw for Bossy. And so Siegel just barely reacted in time to get back. Melton, his last time up, went down on strikes to end the first inning. It looks like Braintree is officially appealing the call at first. And they affirmed the safe call. I heard some Brookline fans below me saying that Canavan actually dropped the ball when trying to apply the tag on Siegel, so even if he had got him in time, it wouldn't have mattered. So it'll be a 1-0 count to Melton. Siegel still at first. Shows bunt, lays it down, but foul. It looked like he had that one perfectly squared, but I don't know, maybe let the force of the pitch push his bat towards that first base side and fouled it off. 1-1 the count. Shows bunt, and again fails to lay it down as he fouls it off. And now with a 2-strike count, the sac bunt strategy is out the window. It'd be interesting to see if Brookline decides to send Siegel to steal second. He is the team leader in steals this year. I believe he's got 9 stolen bases. 1-2 the count to Melton. And a throw back to first as Grieve is aware that they want to move Siegel to second. And now with the sac bunt out of the question, fair chance he goes for the steal. And a check swing foul by Melton keeps him alive at 1-2. Wasn't quite a bunt. And so he gets to stay alive off that foul ball. And now Melton reaches out, hits one down the right field side, out of play, foul. Well, not completely out of play, but well foul. Stays alive, 1-2. Siegel taking off. Melton lifts it out to left center. Center fielder is under it, and he's got the catch for out number 1. Siegel cannot advance on the hit and run. And that'll be 1 out as Siegel has to stay at first. Now batting the shortstop, number 13, Felix Hom. Hom went down on strikes his last time up. Throw back to first, check on Siegel, and he dives back safe again. Hom's been having a little trouble getting his bat on the ball of late. Had a bit of trouble with strikeouts. That one hits the zone, strike 1. Another throw back to first, and again, Siegel gets back. And another throw back, and Siegel easily back to first. Didn't even really need to dive that hard. His lead off of first didn't seem to be that big. Now he's taking off anyway, and Hom fouls it off. Strike two. Once again, Siegel forced to go back to first. Siegel wants to get into scoring position so badly. But all of the hit and run tries just have not worked. Another throw back, and Siegel gets back easily. And that one catches the corner for strike three, and Hom goes down on strikes. So 2 down now. And up comes the designated hitter, number 23, Jonathan Mazzara. Mazzara flew out to right on the first pitch he saw his last time up. Throw back to first, and Siegel actually kind of had to shift his weight on that dive back. That was a little closer, so you know he was thinking steal that time. He does take off, and Mazzara fouls it off out of play. And once again, Siegel trotting back to first. He's been trying to take off for second all inning. Oh and 1, the count to Mazzara. Taking off again, swing and a miss, strike two. Siegel diving in. The throw is high, and Siegel takes advantage for his team-leading 10th steal of the season. So Brookline gets a runner to second for the third time today. But once again, each time they've gotten a runner to second, it's been with 2 outs. So they really need someone to get that clutch hit they've been lacking with 2 outs. Catches the outside corner, strike 3. So Brookline unable to score as Grieve gets back-to-back strikeouts to end the inning. We move to the bottom of the 4th, still scoreless. At this time, in between the top and bottom of the 4th inning, I'd like to take a moment to direct your attention to a helpful link in the description section of this video. At the top of the description section, you can find a link where you can donate to the At Bat for Brookline Booster Club if you would like to support the Brookline High Baseball program financially. So be sure to check that out in the description section of the video. All right, we start the bottom of the fourth. It'll be the 3, 4, 5 hitters due up for Braintree, leading off the first baseman, number 20, Sean Canavan. Canavan had that big 2-out triple back in the bottom of the first. First pitch from Engelman skips in, ball 1. And so far, that has been the only extra base hit so far today, and also the only base hit for Braintree total. As that one hits the zone for strike 1. Just one base hit for Braintree, only 2 for Brookline, as Engelman and Grieve have really been putting on a show so far. That one skips in the dirt, ball 2. Engelman might be a little wary of Canavan with how he took his pitch for a ride last time. The outfielders shifted a little to the right. Hugh Bollinger, the right fielder, closer to the line after Canavan sent that deep shot his way last time up. That one's going to miss for ball 3. What's really been interesting about this game is not just the lack of hits, but also no walks. One hit by pitch for each team, but no walks yet. But now a 3-ball count to Canavan. And he lifts one out to right. Bollinger going back. He's under it for out number 1. This one had a little more air under it. And so enough time for Bollinger to get under it for the first out. But every time Canavan's connected, it's been a rocket out to right. Now batting for the Womps, the third baseman, number 6, Sean O'Rourke. Shows bunt, lays down a bunt. Engelman charging in, bare hands it, throw to first, no, the ball got away. And the throw looked like it was going to be in time, but the throw was right in the vicinity of the base path, and so right as it hit Dialchand Ericsson's glove, so did O'Rourke's body. So, I mean, I don't know if you called that a single or a reach on an E1. That's one I'm going to have to go back and check, as that was a wild play. O'Rourke is going to get a pinch runner. He's not the pitcher or the catcher, but he is getting a substitute runner here. This is number 12. Number 12, Colin Casey. Now batting the designated hitter, number 27, Cal Uhas, as he takes ball 1. Throw back to first, and almost in time for a pickoff, and almost wild enough to allow the pinch runner, Colin Casey, to advance, but in both ways, not. That pitch is also going to miss for ball 2. Melton springing up to check on the pinch runner. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a one-time substitution, and if they put O'Rourke back in his spot in the order after Casey's time on the base paths. That one skips in the dirt for ball 3. Engelman starting to have a little trouble finding the zone. 3-0, the hitters count to Uhas. First pitch, and Juhas takes it for strike one. That one just misses. Juhas hesitated for a second before tossing his bat, but it is ball four, and that's the first base on balls of the day. Now batting with one out and runners at first and second, the left fielder, number 2, Sam Garrity. Garrity went down on strikes his last time up. First pitch, chases it low, strike one. It'll be interesting to see if they try and go for a pickoff move on Casey at second. This one is lifted. Shallow center. Hom is back, but Siegel calls him off and takes it himself for out number 2. Big second out get for Engelman, as it does not move the runners. Now batting the right fielder, number 24, Max King. King grounded out to short to end the second inning his last time up. Pickoff throw, not in time as Casey dives back. Engelman kind of went for a sidearm throw, which is not usually how he makes that pickoff throw. That one came close to getting away from him. First pitch catches the low inside corner for strike one. 2 down runners at first and second in what is still a scoreless ball game. This is a grounder over to short. Hom throws to second, and that will end the inning. 4 shutout innings from both Engelman and Grieve. We move to the 5th. Our score, Brookline 0, Braintree 0. At this break between the 4th and 5th innings, I'd like to take a moment for a local charity spotlight. I'd like to tell you about Brookline Cares. Brookline Cares is a volunteer organization run by Brookline High School students, which seeks to raise awareness and funds to help people experiencing homelessness. Brookline Cares works closely with an organization called the Empowerment Plan. The Empowerment Plan hires and trains those struggling with homelessness to manufacture their special type of coat, known as the Empower Coat, which can double as a sleeping bag. The coats help to keep those dealing with homelessness warm during the colder months, while the jobs manufacturing these coats can help break the cycle of homelessness through gainful employment. Over the past 3 years, Brookline Cares has purchased and distributed over 200 Empower Coats and 1,000 pairs of Bombas socks to local community organizations and emergency departments that care for the homeless, and you can help them bring more warmth to those in need. Down in the description section of this video, you'll find 2 links relating to Brookline Cares. The first one on classy.org is where you can donate money to the Brookline Cares team to support their efforts to purchase more Empower Coats. And then you'll also see a link to their website on wixsite.com. That's the club's own website where you can find out more information about them, find out how you can contact them, maybe if you're a student interested in joining, things of that nature. So be sure to check out those links in the description down below. We've got a pinch hitter, or a substitute probably, in left field, number 15, Owen Hoffman. Batting in place of Nico Hart. First pitch, got a piece of it, and it goes off the face mask of the ump, strike one. You could see Hart appeared to have ice on his throwing elbow after a couple innings in. Hart is more primarily known as a pitcher for Brookline. Of course, he's coming off that big no-hitter against Newton North last Wednesday, so, you know, they got to make sure they don't overwork his arm. So it makes sense they've brought in Hoffman. Now, Hoffman, as you can see, hasn't had the greatest season in terms of pure batting average, but in terms of contributing to the offense, he's actually had a pretty solid season so far, with 6 runs scored, ranking among some of the top guys for Brookline. So it really just has been a matter of, you know, when he gets on base, it's usually a good sign that a rally is about to happen. As the ump trying to recalibrate his face mask after taking that shot in the face on the foul ball. Yeah, so they're checking on the face mask. I'm not sure if it's broken or something. But it looks like he is going to put it back on, and we're going to continue with it. So 0-1, the count to Hoffman. And that one's going to miss outside for ball 1. Both Grieve and Engelman have been on fire through these first 4 innings, and it shows with the 2 goose eggs on the scoreboard as that one hits the zone for strike 2. That one hits the zone for strike 3. So Grieve with another strikeout to start the inning. And with 1 down, up comes the first baseman, number 7, James D'Alchand Erickson. D'Alchand Erickson went down on strikes his last time up. Six strikeouts so far for Connor Grieve, as the trainer coming out to take a look at the ump behind the plate. Boy, I hope he's okay. You guys know how I feel about the officials at the high school level. These guys aren't making good money. You know, they're out here out of the goodness of their hearts to support local youth sports and make sure these games happen. You may disagree with their calls, and that's fine, as long as you respect that they are their calls to make, and as long as you are respectful of them. Because, I mean, these guys will walk. You know, we've been dealing with a national official shortage across the country for a few years now. As that one comes in high for ball 1 to D'Alchand Erickson. So that's it. I'm off my soapbox on that one. 1-1 the count to D'Alchand Erickson. That one just outside ball 2. Grieve has been working that outside corner against the righties so well. But that time just missed. And that one just missed, low and away for ball 3. Engelman issued his first base on balls in the bottom of the 4th. Are we going to see Grieve issue his first base on balls here in the top of the 5th? That one catches the low corner, strike 2. That one just above the knees, and also good framing by Bossy behind the plate. So full count. The coach was debating. You know what I think it was? The ump, you might have seen, he used his right hand to like wave to signal that it was outside. But if you're on the opposite side of him, which the Braintree coach is, it could look like he's sticking his arm out to signal a strike. So I think that's where the confusion came in. No confusion there, though. That is strike 3. Yalchin Erickson down on strikes for the second time. 2 down. Now I believe 7 strikeouts for Grieve, as now we cycle back to the top of the Brookline order with the second baseman, number 5, Keenan Sawada. First one misses, ball 1. Sawada so far today 0 for 2 with a pair of infield groundouts as he slices this one foul, strike 1. One and one, the count to Sawada. And that one's a low ball 2. And that's a high ball 3. 3-1 the count. And Sawada among the top walk getters in the Brookline lineup with a 3-1 count. And he takes ball 4 high. Sawada's low strike zone pays dividends there. And he trots down to first as Grieve gives up his first walk of the day. 2 down, runner at first. Now up, the right fielder, number 21, Hugh Bollinger. Bollinger 1 for 2 so far today, got a single in the first, flew out to right in the third, slices this one foul and out of play for strike 1. Sawada, another speedster on the bags. You wonder if Grieve is going to check on him at first. We've seen quite a few intense battles on the base paths between pitchers and runners today. And there's the throw back. Sawada gets back standing up. Sawada with 4 steals so far this season. 2 of them came last week. Takes off for second. Pitches in for a strike. Sawada diving. And he did not make it. Tried to slide around the tag. Might have slid off the base. And he is caught for the last out of the top of the 5th. Very close call at second, but I wonder if Sawada may have slipped off the bag with the gloves still on him, as it kind of looked like the ump took a little bit of time to make that call. Brookline coach Brendan O'Connor discussing the call with the infield ump. I mean, that's not a discussion he's going to win. He is still discussing it with him as we move to the bottom of the 5th. So Bollinger will still lead off the top of the 6th for Brookline, as he didn't get to finish his plate appearance there. Engelman back on the hill for his 5th inning of work. And he'll be facing the 8-9-1 hitters for Braintree, Rucky, Bossy, and Regan. You know, I really do feel like there is an art to talking to officials. You know, because if you can go up and say, hey, watch out for this kind of thing in the future, that can help keep the relationship positive, not generate any bad vibes that might slightly lean the call the other way, because if you go too aggressive when trying to argue a call, not only are you not going to get it overturned, because they're not, umps aren't prone to overturning their calls without some kind of video review. If you go too hard on them, they're not going to give you any favor going forward. That's not going to happen. We start the bottom of the fifth. Leading off, the second baseman, number 15, Nick Rucky, as the first pitch from Engelman skips in for ball one. Rucky, his last time up, flew out to center to lead off the third inning. Now leading off here in the fifth. That one hits the zone, strike one. That pitch going to miss just high, ball two. As you get deeper and deeper into the game with, no significant lead going either way, it becomes so much more anxiety-inducing to keep throwing strikes as a pitcher. As this one is golfed out to right field, Bollinger coming in, and he's got it for out number one. Rucky flies out for the second time today. Now coming up, we've got what appears to be a pinch hitter in place of the catcher, Joe Bossi. This is going to be number 9. Oh, man. It's number 9, Ricky Dev something. I took a picture of their lineup before the game, and my thumb is covering up the back end of number 9's last name. But either way, Ricky batting in place of the catcher, Joe Bossi, here in the bottom of the fifth. First pitch going to miss high, ball one. That pitch in the zone, strike one. This one misses low, ball two. Engelman has really liked bringing those breaking balls low. He's gotten some batters to chase on them, but sometimes they just skip in the dirt for a ball. That one skips in, and again, he doesn't bite. 3-1 is the count. And that one's going to miss. And so now with a runner at first and one out, we cycle back to the top of the order with the center fielder, number 16, Hayden Regan. First pitch fouls it off his foot, or maybe off his knee, somewhere off his body. So that'll be a dead ball, strike one. Regan so far today, he flew out to right in the first inning. was hit by a pitch in the third, stole second but was left stranded. Now up with a runner at first and one out. Throw back to first. And the runner gets back. That one skips in, blocked by Melton, ball one. One and one, the count to Regan. That one skips in. That hit him again. It hit his foot. Regan is hit for the second time today. Runners at first and second. Now batting the shortstop, number 3, Peter Brooks. First and second with one out. And this one hit. It's a shot out to left. Dev is going to try and race around third. Throw's going to come in, not in time, and Braintree breaks the scoreless tie off an RBI single from Peter Brooks. And so now head coach Brendan O'Connor coming out to speak to Engelman with the full infield in. I mean, he has pitched very well today, but, you know, when your opponent is pitching just as well, if not better, it doesn't matter. It could go down as a loss either way. Engelman going to stay on the mound. And he's going to stay on the mound against one of the most powerful hitters on the Braintree roster, the first baseman, number 20, Sean Canavan. Canavan had that big triple back in the first inning. Flew out to right his last time up, 1 for 2 so far, now up with 2 on and 1 out. And that one in the dirt, ball one. Engelman checks a couple times at second, but throws, and it comes in low again for ball two. This is where you got to be careful. You give up one well-hit ball that brings in the go-ahead run. Can't get scared to throw strikes. Turns around, but nobody there covering second. So Engelman does not throw. That pitch is high for ball three. A 3-0 hitter's count to Canavan. A walk here would load the bases. So Engelman's got to try and throw strikes here. And that one missed outside, ball four. A 4-pitch walk to Canavan loads the bases for the cleanup hitter, as again the coach coming out to talk to his starter. Bases loaded, 1 out, and the cleanup hitter, Sean O'Rourke, coming to the plate. O'Rourke got that weird reach on a bunt, His last time up, not sure if it was scored as a single or an E1. And it looks like Brookline is going to change pitchers. It looks like they're going to bring in their top reliever, number 9, Elias Brendel. Brendel has been burdened by coming in on these tough positions time and time again. You can see from his stats for the season, he's appeared in 5 games, only one of them a start. He's got a 2-1 pitching record, gave up his first loss to the Dragons of Boston Latin Academy on that walk-off loss in the 9th last Friday. But he's also come in a number of save opportunities that did not work out well for him. He's come in 4 save opportunities, made 1 save so far. The other 3 gave him the win-loss results that you see, the 2-1 record. So twice when he blew a save, he held on to win long-term as Brookline took back the lead. But then most recently, when he blew the save against Boston Latin Academy, also lost the game in the 9th. He's pitched 10 innings through those first 5 appearances. Has an ERA of 2.10, a whip of 1.90, and 13 strikeouts. As he is a hard, more strikeout-oriented thrower, he had the same amount of strikeouts coming into today as Engelman. And Engelman pitched to about 6 2/3 more innings than Brendel before today. So Engelman currently the pitcher on the hook for the loss, and he leaves 3 inherited runners on base as he now moves over to third base, a simple 1-to-1 swap with Brendel. And boy, that is really tough to have such a dominant outing all game long, but then all it takes is 1 bad inning. And when a game is as close and low scoring as this one, all it really takes is 1 big swing, and that big swing was the RBI single by Brooks that brought in the pinch hitter, Ricky Dev. As he drew the 1-out walk, Regan was hit by the pitch, and then Brooks drove in Dev for Braintree's first run. And then one 4-pitch walk to Canavan later, and Coach O'Connor decides to pull the plug on his starter. He lasts 4 1/3 innings, gives up so far 1 earned run, but he is on the hook for potentially 3 more off these inherited runners. Depends on how Brendel handles this relief situation. Now batting, the third baseman, number 6, Sean O'Rourke. First pitch, lifts it out to right center, going to drop in front of the outfielders. 1 run is going to come in. It's rifled back to the infield. 1 run comes in off the RBI single by Sean O'Rourke, and Braintree off 1 pitch doubles their lead. Regan in to score off the single from O'Rourke. So in a game where no one could manage any offense, Braintree finally unlocking theirs. Now batting the designated hitter, number 27, Cal Uhas. Entire infield pulled in here as Uhas lifts 1, staying in the infield. Going to be a tough play with the infield pulled in. Over the shoulder catch by Sawada. He tries to throw home, but they are going to score on the sac fly to second. An amazing catch by Sawada. Heads up base running by Pete Brooks to score on an infield sac fly. The infield being pulled in almost proved disastrous for Brookline. One run does come in, but they do get the out off a spectacular over-the-shoulder catch by Keenan Sawada. So 2 down, a 3-0 lead for Braintree. Runners at the corners. And now batting, the left fielder, number 2, Sam Garrity. Oh, they're trying to get him in a rundown. Throw back to first, and he gets back safe. They were trying to divert their attention away from the runner at third, but Brookline kept their attention on Canavan as O'Rourke manages to evade the rundown. He just took off to try and do a diversion play. I've seen Brookline pull that same play before, and that might be why they were ready for it and didn't allow a run to score. First pitch catches the outside corner, strike one. And I wouldn't be surprised if they just send O'Rourke down to second now that the diversion play hasn't worked, just to get another runner into scoring position. You know, you kind of gauge where Brookline's head is at in terms of containing the runner at third. But this pitch is fouled off as we've actually got a pinch hitter for Braintree right now. This is not Garrity. This is number 11, actually. So this is actually Jake Joyce is the batter right now. And that one in there, strike three. Joyce goes down on 3 pitches, and that ends the bottom of the 5th. But Braintree has opened this game up. They now lead Brookline 3-0 at the end of 5. So Engelman officially on the hook for 3 earned runs in this one, as 2 of the inherited runners he left for Brendel did make it across the plate. Connor Grieve coming back out for the 6th inning. He'll be facing the 2, 3, 4 hitters, Bollinger, Brendel, and Siegel. As Brookline certainly hoping that Braintree's pitcher starts to run out of gas around the same time their pitcher did. But, I mean, it's such a different situation, you know, because when it's a scoreless tie and you're thinking about that one big hit that could break things open, it can be hard to keep throwing strikes. But when you're up by 3 runs, it can be much, much easier to keep throwing strikes. And ultimately, you know, that's the key, especially at this level. Happy to see a number of you guys still tuning in and leaving some nice notes in the live chat. I know the Wi-Fi has been quite bad today, and I will be uploading the recorded version of this later tonight as Hugh Bollinger skies this one, going to stay in the infield, and it will be caught by Rucky at second for out number 1. So 1 pitch, 1 out. Now batting the pitcher, number 9, Elias Brendel. First pitch going to miss for ball 1. Brendel has been eagerly swinging at pitches from Grieve today. Flew out to center both times up so far. And this one he skies out to left center And it's going to be a can of corn for the left fielder for out number 2. So 3 pitches and 2 outs for Grieve. Not exactly the offensive response Brookline was hoping for after giving up the game's first runs in the bottom of the 5th. Now batting the center fielder, number 14, Harrison Siegel. Siegel 1 for 1 today with a single and a hit by pitch. That pitch going to miss outside, ball 1. That one also going to miss, ball 2. And that one tipped into the glove, strike 1. 2-1, the count to Siegel. Swing and a miss there, strike 2. Siegel missing the timing on a couple of pitches back-to-back, now a 2-2 count. And he misses the timing again, strike 3. And Grieve puts him down in order. A powerful response after his team takes the lead for him, as Grieve shuts the door on Brookline's response in short order. We move to the bottom of the 6th now. Our score, Braintree 3, Brookline 0. Brendel back out on the mound for another inning of relief. He'll be facing the 7, 8, 9 hitters from Braintree, King, Rucky, and either Bossy or potentially Dev again, but I wouldn't be surprised if they went back to Bossy. We've seen a few notes in the live chat I haven't had the chance to get around to acknowledging. Some simple Let's Go Brooklines from Greg Hoffman, Peter and Diane Barry, and Yuli Burstein. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Again, I'm happy to see that the Wi-Fi connection has stabilized itself a bit from where it was at the start. You know, it still hasn't been great. We've still dropped about 23% of the frames so far in this live stream. That number has been going down from a number that was up in like the 50 or 60 percentages earlier in the game, so I'm happy about that, but I am still going to be uploading a recorded version later. Leading off here on the bottom of the 6th, the right fielder, number 24, Max King. First pitch from Brendel, high and inside, ball 1. King, so far he's grounded to the shortstop twice, once for a ground out, once for a fielder's choice. Both inning ending, but here getting an early hitter's count at 2-0. And chases the high heat that time. Takes 2 high balls and then swings at another one. 2-1 now the count. That one, another high ball. And really, all 4 of these pitches have much been to the same spot, that high inside corner. King has swung once, but the rest have just gone for balls. That one hits the zone, strike 2. Payoff pitch catches the low outside corner for strike 3. So Brendel had a little trouble finding the zone to start that at bat, but ends it well for the first out of the inning. Now batting, second baseman, number 15, Nick Rucky. That one comes in high, ball 1. Rucky, his last time up, he flew out to right to start the 5th inning. Now batting second here in the 6th after the team really rallied around. And he gets jammed inside. It's a pop taken off one hop. Sawada lost his footing and could not get him to the bag as Rucky reaches safe. Some bad luck there. I think you got to score that one as a reach on an E4 as Sawada kind of tripped on the infield dirt. It was an awkwardly placed pop-up by Rucky. And now batting is the catcher, number 14, Joe Bossy, as he takes strike 1. So Bossy back at the plate in place of, I think, Devers might have been the last name of number 9, who pinch hit for him. And this one is lined foul. Got a little out in front of it. Strike 2. So Rucky at first, 1 out, 0-2 the count to Bossy. Braintree leads by 3. That one way high, ball 1. That's one of those where you're wondering if he's thinking about the base runner potentially taking off, as a high pitch like that makes for a slightly easier throwdown for the catcher. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Two outs in the inning now as we cycle back to the top of the order with center fielder number 16, Hayden Regan. Regan 0 for 1 so far with a fly out to right and 2 hit by pitches. And 1 run scored. First pitch, and he rips one out to left for a clean 2-out single. Runners at first and second, now up the shortstop, number 3, Peter Brooks. Brooks had the big hit last inning, drove in Devers for the game's first run. Really broke the game open there. Now up again with runners at first and second, this time with 2 outs. First pitch hits a grounder over to short, and it's booted by Hom, and he can't even go for the pickoff throw at third as he was juggling that ball. Another infield error by Brookline, and that loads the bases. The Brookline defense, which has been so strong today, just feels like it's starting to run out of gas, but still 1 out away from escaping the inning with no damage. Unfortunately, coming up, the first baseman, number 20, Sean Canavan. Canavan 1 for 2 today so far with a triple, a flyout, and a walk, as he was the last batter that Engelman faced before being pulled. Takes that one inside for strike 1. So he is the last batter to be facing Brendel for the first time today, and doing it with the bases loaded and 2 down. That one, same inside corner, same result, strike 2. So pitchers count at 0-2. So you wonder if Brendel will try and paint the corners on him a bit. Maybe see if he can fool him with a high heat or a low dipping curve. Or if he's just going to throw it right into the zone to try and get him again. Been working that inside part of the plate. He often works the outside against righties, but here with a lefty, he's working the inside. That one outside, ball 1. And the throw got away from the pitcher. Runners taking off for home. Barehanded by Sawada, thrown to home. Safe! And the runners are taking off while Melton is busy arguing, and the coach comes out to argue as... I thought they got him at home. And that was just a bad mistake. I didn't catch it on replay, unfortunately. I thought they had gotten him at the plate, but Rucky scores on the E2. And Braintree goes up 4-0 on the missed throw back to the pitcher. That pitch, a high heat, and Canavan doesn't bite, ball 2. Runners now at second and third as both of the other runners advanced, while Brookline was arguing about the call at the plate. This one fouled off, and Canavan stays alive. This one's a hard grounder over to Sawada, bounces off him, and the fielding errors compound into 2 more runs for Braintree. And just like that, what was once a scoreless game through the first 4 innings, now a 6-0 lead for Braintree. Four errors for the Brookline defense this inning. Going back to the play where Sawada tripped on the infield dirt, this game could have been done in 3 batters. This inning could have been done in 3 batters. But instead, Braintree doubles up their score in what has just been a rough inning for Brookline. Now batting the third baseman, number 6, Sean O'Rourke. Hard hit ball right at Sawada. Fields it cleanly this time and flips to second. And finally, Brookline gets the third out. But Braintree doubles up their lead in the 6th off the back of some fielding mistakes by the Warriors. And now we move to the 7th and final inning. The score, Braintree 6, Brookline 0. Connor Grieve going to come out to try and finish the complete game. He still has not given up a base hit to Brookline since the first inning. Gave up 2 singles in the top of the first. But since then, the only Brookline base runners has been a reach-on error, a hit by pitch, and a walk. And that has been it. It's going to be the 5, 6, 7 hitters for Brookline. Their last chance, Melton, Hom, and Mazzara. As Grieve, you got to give him a lot of credit for the pitching job that he has done today. You know, Brookline was able to threaten a couple of times, but really just weren't able to string the threat together until too late in the inning, as they left a few guys stranded in scoring position. And now, here we are, top of the 7th, Brookline down to their last chances. Leading off, the catcher, number 17, Avery Melton. First pitch in the dirt, ball 1. Melton, his last time up, flew out to center in the 4th inning. Lifts one out to right this time. And fielder's right there. King hauls it in for out number 1. And really, that's just kind of been the theme today, is a lot of quick at-bats. You know, Brookline, typically a team that can be pretty patient at the plate, draw a lot of walks, but Grieve has just been throwing strikes non-stop to them today, which is why you have a game where not only do they only have 2 hits, but also only 1 walk and 1 hit by pitch. Now batting is the shortstop, number 13, Felix Hom, as he takes a high ball 1 there. Count is 1-1. Hom hits one right back to Grieve, and he's just going to jog over there himself. And we see the rare 1 unassisted ground out. And again, how quick was that at bat? 3 pitches. I mean, that's really been the key to Grieve's success, is that he throws strikes and he dares the batters to beat him, and today they haven't been beating him. That first pitch inside, ball 1, Brookline down to their final out. At the plate, the designated hitter, number 23, Jonathan Mazzara. That one hits the zone, strike 1. Mazzara 0 for 2 so far today with a flyout and a strikeout, as he tips that one to the backstop for strike 2. And tipped into the glove, and that is strike 3, and that is your ball game. The final score here in Braintree, the Braintree High Womps 6, the Brookline High Warriors 0. Brookline gave them a battle defensively for the first 4 innings, but the wheels just kind of came off on the defensive side, and on the offense, the bats went cold. Brookline falls to 9-4 on the season. Braintree improves to 10-1. And so while I'm sure qualifying for the playoffs was never really a concern for Braintree with how high ranked they are, at this point they can guarantee that they will have a date in the state tournament. Even if they were to lose all the rest of their regular season games, they would still finish with at least a 500 record, having now secured their 10th win. Brookline still on the lookout for that 10th win, but they will be back in action on Wednesday, back at home in Brookline after 3 straight road games. They'll be coming back to Warren Field to host Weymouth to take another stab at magic win number 10. Well, that's going to do it for this live stream. Thank you all so much for tuning in today and for putting up with the rough time we had with the Wi-Fi. I'm glad it kind of stabled itself out as things went along, but I'm still going to upload a recorded version later tonight If you still enjoyed this live stream, regardless, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on all my upcoming live streams. You know, like I said, baseball back in action on Wednesday, but I'm going to have some Brookline High games every day this week, Monday through Saturday. This is just the first of a 6-day week, and the first of 3 straight 6-day weeks coming up for me, as the month of May is going to be very busy, so be sure to stay up to date on everything coming up. Subscribing to the channel can help. Thank you to all those who left the good vibes in the live chat today. If there's anything you'd like to say after the live stream is concluded, you can say it in the comment section down below. Be sure to go down below to the description section of this video, where you can find some helpful links, a link where you can donate to the At-Bat for Brookline Booster Club, some links pertaining to our local charity Spotlight Brookline Cares, and some links related to me, which you can also see in the bottom right corner of your screen. My personal website, jessesports.com, where you can find out more about me, the freelance sports broadcasting services that I provide to various teams, and how you can commission those services for your favorite team. Or if you want to skip past all that, you can just email me directly with any questions or requests you may have. And you can follow me on Instagram, where I sometimes post highlights from previous live streams and also post the links for upcoming live streams. But for this live stream, that's going to do it. Final score, Braintree 6, Brookline 0. From Braintree High School in Braintree, Massachusetts, I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. Thank you all for watching, and have a good night.